Hello everybody, I'm your host, the RPG Goddess Gamer, and today we're going to be doing another episode covering the old books from the Suikoden series. Today we're going to be talking about the old books from Suikoden 3. Personally, this is one of my favourites, even though it was a departure from the series going from 2D to 3D. That was kind of to be expected considering this was the first of the 3 Suikoden games to come out on the PlayStation 2 instead of the PS2 like the first two. Personally, I really liked it. I thought the story with Luck and his true rune and all that was really, really interesting. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, the old books are a collectible item. You find them hidden throughout the world in chests and things like that. And you can take them back to your home base. And once you have your librarian, you can give them to the librarian and then you'll be able to go and read them at any time. And they just have some interesting little bits of information about the game that I find quite fascinating. So we're just going to be reading through those together. So let's get into it. So we have Old Book Volume 1, Curio Delights. It's found in a corpse in the flame champion's hideaway. Curio Delights. Failure earned 30 posh. Caleria earned 3,000 posh. Blue ties earned 7,000 posh. Car earned 8,000 posh. Celadon earned 20,000 posh. Gold earned 45,000 posh. White porcelain vase, 90,000 posh. Graffiti, 50 posh. Scroll picture, 7,000 posh. Painting, lady, 8,000 posh. Painting, sky owl, 10,000 posh. Painting, night, 20,000 posh. Painting, ruins, 35,000 posh. Painting, sunset, 50,000 posh. Hexstyle, 200 posh. SP Hexstyle, 5,000 posh. Peen Boy, 30,000 posh. Knight Statue, 60,000 posh. Goddess Statue, 80,000 posh. SP Knight Statue, 100,000 posh. SP Goddess Statue, 250,000 posh. SP Dragon Statue, 400,000 posh. Indoor Plant Vase, 6,000 posh. Rose Vase, 7,000 posh. Plum Bonsai, 9,000 posh. Potted Mini Cactus, 11,000 posh. Potted Cactus, 15,000 posh. Pine Bonsai, 2,000 posh. So basically, if you're a little confused, all these are antiques. The antiques are, as the name would imply, antique items. Their main use is in the baths, and there are a lot of bath scenes in Suikoden 3. I think this is probably some of the most antiques that we have in any one Suikoden game, although I could be wrong about that. Basically, certain combinations of antiques, when placed in the bath along with certain combinations of characters, will unlock unique bath scenes, and they can be quite funny and quite entertaining. And also, you can get a little bit of lore out of them. But the thing about the antiques is when you get them, they'll always have a question mark, and you have to take them to the appraiser, pay a small fee to get them appraised. And then once they're appraised, you'll actually be able to know what they are. So you won't know what you've got until you appraise it. Some of them are just good for selling money, but it's always good to check if they're useful in any bath scenes. I tend to collect all of them. Anyway, let's continue on. We have Whole Book Volume 2, Legend of the Sindar. Complimentary prize in Vinay Del Vexe lottery. The Legend of the Sindar. Long ago, there lived the elusive Sindar clan, whose ruins lie across our land. In the search for the unknown Sindar legacy, scholars and hunters have found only death. May one of those brave souls find peace in knowing that their findings survive herein to spread their rare insights. My search for Sindar. Far I have come to seek the truth of the Sindar, yet little I have found. I record my work herein now, for my strength falters more each day. The ethereal Sindar legacy casts a shadow before us, and none can claim to know anything of their true nature. Sindar went from north to south, leaving ruins behind in all corners of our land. Their leader perhaps kept death at bay with a rune above the brow, but the same magic may have also forced the Sindar to remain nomadic. Beyond the many traps set within the Sindar ruins may rest great wealth and knowledge. Few have sought to break through to the inner ruins. The darkness of death is said to sweep away those who try. I myself now suffer this misfortune. This is actually pretty cool because you get a common trope in games and media where you have that ancient, died out, long past ancient civilization, whatever you want to call it. And those people are often said to have great technology and hidden knowledge and things like that, and there'll be ruins around the place, and they're often a bit of a mystery. You don't know a lot about them. And this is very interesting because the new Suikoden Star League game is meant to be covering the Rune of Change, because the Rune of Change is the rune that the leader of the Sindar have, and because he has the Rune of Change, they aren't able to settle there in one place and have to continuously move about, thus their nomadic nature. So that's pretty damn cool. Doesn't really tell us a lot about them, but we can look forward to that in the new Star League game, can't we? Okay, next we have Old Book Volume 3, Tarak's List of Finds. Visited in northwest part of Great Hollow. So that's where you can get the old book. In my travels, I have seen these items beyond the grandest streams, but as the winds of trade are strong, stock will not be plentiful for long. Tarak the Wanderer. Kiara Clan, Lightning Leather, Fish Badge. Duck Clan, Gold Beak, Blue Ribbon, Water Amulet, Wall Crystal, Hazy Crystal. Vinay Del Vexi, Master Garb, Turtle Tunic, Black Warrior Tunic, Premier Tunic, Lightning Leather, Thunderbolt Leather, Tribarco Chainmail, Premier Armor, Wind Amulet, Yellow Scarf, Sunbeam Crystal, Warrior Crystal. Iski Village. Rose Brooch, Alert Crystal, Waken Crystal, Golden Hammer. Guildhall. Flame Armor, Armor of Rage, Barco Chainmail, Tribarco Chainmail, Guardian Shield, Flame Amulet, Gold Emblem, Hunter Crystal, Rose Vase, Painting Knight. Alma Kinan, Wind Amulet, Killer Crystal, Hazy Crystal, Goddess Statue. Caleria, Premier Helm, Guardian Chainmail, Custom Chainmail, True Thunderbolt, THR, Gloves of Destiny, Thunder Amulet, White Rose Brooch, Wizard Crystal. Shisha Clan, Silver White Robe, Chief's Hat, Prosperity Hat, Lion God Ring, Prosperity Ring, Wizard Crystal, Metal Set 4. Wizard Clan, Barco Chainmail, True Barco Chainmail, Custom Chainmail, Thunderbolt Leather, Premier Tunic, Crown of Destiny, Dragon Tail Ornament, Mole Gloves, Counter Crystal, Violence Crystal. Brass Castle, Lightning Leather, Thunderbolt Leather, True Thunderbolt Leather, THR, Barco Chainmail, Chaos Shield, Mangosh, Gold Emblem, Wind Amulet, Thunder Amulet, Flame Amulet, Medicine Crystal, Killer Crystal, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Anyway, Levert, Windspun Armor, Mole Shield, Premier Casque, Custom Tunic, Thunder Amulet, Pale Moon Casque, Counter Crystal, Hazy Crystal. So that was a nice long list there, but basically, from what I can tell, this is a list of all the various armour and items, mainly armour, although some special items, like collectibles, that you can find at all the different shops, which was good back then because in the PS2 days, the internet wasn't quite as well developed, let's say, as it is now. So if you didn't want to look to a guide to find out what armour was being sold where, you could just go to your library and check the old book, which is pretty cool. Nice little compilation of where you can buy everything. Anyway, next we have Old Book Volume 4, Approach with Caution. It's found in the Corpse and Sindar ruins. Approach these people with caution. Watari, fugitive ninja, last seen near Iskay village. Gordon, supply shop proprietor at Iskay village, says he's practicing to become a gentleman. Landis, a wing-board youth looking for his niche in the world, spotted in Kaput Forest. Melville, Saint Lower Knight, his father is a treasure hunter and is rarely at home with him. Ayami, female ninja, said to be chasing another ninja. Little knowledge of this person exists. Giliami, makes a ruckus wherever he goes, seen lurking about The ruins on the ancient highway. Just too busy. Portus the Seventh. Young scroll maker at lake. Makes good scrolls but is completely unable to discern direction. Seen in Calyria and at Duck and Keisha village. Estella. A travelling wizard now said to be in Alma Canaan village. He has a younger brother named Rody. Tends to deceive people. Arthur flies in search of his next newspaper story, interested in the recent incident at the barrier checkpoint. Alanis, nothing is known of her since she moved away, reportedly seen at the Great Hollow. Jefferson appears unexpectedly in busy places and assigns titles to people. Kid, a young sleuth who has unravelled many cases thus far, said to be at Duck Clan Village. So, we have a similar old book in, I think both 1 and 2 of Suikoden. Basically, this is a list of some of the characters in the game and gives you tips about them, for where you can find them, a little bit of general information about them, but also tips about where you can find them, which is good if you don't want to use a guide. I have to say, though, it's been so long since I played this game, I really don't remember any of the characters. Anyway, though, next we have Old Book Volume 5, The 27 True Runes. She's a woman behind Inn in Duck Village. The birth of the 27 True Runes. In the beginning, there existed only long, long darkness. Over time, darkness grew lonely. The loneliness became a heavy sorrow. Darkness eventually cried one tear. From the tear were born two brothers, Sword and Shield. Sword said it could cut all that exists. Shield replied that nothing could even scratch it. They fell into war. Their war lasted for 7 days and 7 nights. In the end, Sword broke Shield, and Shield broke Sword. Pieces of Sword rained down to make the sky, pieces of Shield rained down to make the earth. Their battle flashes became the stars. The 27 gems adorning the Sword and Shield transformed into 27 true runes, and thus the world began its life. It's always been one of my favourite old books just because it gives you the creation story of the Suikoden world. And the runes it talks about the Bright Shield and the Black Sword rune are the runes that Joey and Ryu have in Suikoden 2, which is very cool because I'm now up to playing Suikoden 2. I just finished Suikoden 1 from the remaster, and now I'm playing Suikoden 2, which is by far my favourite of the lot. I'm sure the favourite of many others as well. But I've just started it yesterday, which is really cool. Yeah, it's just a really nice little creation story. One thing the Suikoden series is so good at doing is its world building. Anyway, if we continue on, we have Old Book Volume 6, Trader's Handbook. Iki starts with it. Trader's Handbook. Every good trader gathers information. At every place you visit, check the price of goods. When you notice the price is different, buy an item where it is cheap and sell where it is expensive. Shops need time to replenish supplies you've brought. Use that time to visit other trade shops. Sell what you have, then buy goods to be desired elsewhere. One famous trader brought salt in Calyria and sold it for triple the price in B'nai Del Baxi. Deer antlers were cheap there. He took several back to Calyria and made a fortune. If only his pet dragon hadn't eaten it all. Your ability to carry items is limited. Store your purchases at your warehouse if you can't sell them right away. Keep your ear to the wall and the wind. You never know when a story you hear will point the way to a hefty profit. So this is something they introduced in Suikoden 2, which is excuse me, I really need that cough. The trading. I don't really bother with it because money is so easy to get in these games. You've got, your ginger and dice game, and then once you get later on in the game, you find the enemies drop a lot of money, so it's quite easy to farm for it. Plus, you've got, the fortune room, which you can equip to get double the money yet again. But there is usually a character that will only join you if you have made a certain amount of money in trading. I know that's the case in Suikoden 2. I can't quite remember the others, but usually that's the requirement for the trader to join you, so you will want to do it at least some of the time. But yeah, one example I could always remember was in Suikoden 2, if you buy, what were they? The crystal balls. You could sell them to the kobolds because they like shiny things. You could always get a good profit there. That was about the only one I could really remember then, and there's so many. Plus, you can only buy so many. You can't just, go completely overboard and buy a heap and make heap of money real quickly because the shops will only have a limited supply and you'll have to wait a while before you can come back and get more. Anyway, next we have Old Book Volume 7, The Non-Unification War. Here starts of it. In 460 solar calendar, an alliance of cities known as the City-State of Joustin broke a ceasefire agreement without warning and annihilated the Highland youth army. In response, Prince Luca Blight of Highland invaded Toto and Ryubu villages, spawning the Danan Unification War. Joustin leaders sought more cooperation among cities, but were denied even as Highland killed Mayor Annabelle and captured her city, Moose, the most important of Joustin's cities. Total Highland victory was certain until the remnants of the state army joined with mercenaries at North Window Castle to organise a new resistance movement against Prince Luca Blight. These new allied forces were led by the son of the hero Genkaku, who had saved Joustin in the past. The new allied forces endured Highland attacks and succeeded in rescuing challenge against Highland, which was now completely controlled by Luca Blight as emperor due to the sudden death of his father, Agares. Despite Highland's numerical superiority, its army was unable to deliver a decisive blow against the allies led by Shu, a clever tactician. Emperor Blight chose us to sneak attack the heart of the allied forces. The plan was discovered in advance, however, and the allied forces waited patiently for Blight's ambush. Under a full moon, the slaughter was reversed, with the attackers not even realizing they'd been surrounded. Emperor Luca's death passed the throne to Princess Julia's husband of 17 years, Joey Blight. Inspired by the ambush, the Allied forces liberated Tinto and Greenhill City. They then went on to capture Matilda Knight's stronghold, Rockaxe Castle, and then turned their attention to the Highland Imperial capital, Lebanon. Nearly everyone defending the capital died. Emperor Joey Blight was last seen during the torching of the city. The Highland Kingdom was no more, and the Royal Blight family legacy came to an end. So, that's a very cool book, which is summing up the events of Suikoden 2, which again very cool because I'm literally just up to playing Suikoden 2. It has such a great story. I'm loving every minute of it. I mean, I loved every minute of Suikoden 1, but Suikoden 2 is just on a whole nother level. But yeah, that's a bit of, I guess, a very brief, compressed description of the events of Suikoden 2. Very cool. Next, we have Old Book Volume 8, The Flame Champion Legend. Complimentary prize in Lake Castle Lottery. The Legend of the Flame Champion. Many years ago, over half of the grasslands were controlled by the Holy Harmonian Kingdom. Most clans fell under their control. Even clans not controlled paid tribute. No one questioned this, for the Harmonian army was almighty. One battalion was equally in strength to all clans combined. The difference in power was enormous, yet one group showed no fear, the Flame Champion and his bringers. Their battles were small, but word spread quickly. The stories of the Firebringer bandits, raiding supplies, transports, made the clans brave and hopeful. Soon they stood up to be led by the same man. Then came the day when they stood as one against the Holy Harmonian Kingdom. The Harmonian army clashed fiercely with the grassland forces led by the Flame Champion, by a hero's name. It was the heaviest fighting ever known, but neither side won a divisive victory. Strangely enough, even though Harmonia did not claim victory, it has not tried to retake the grasslands in all the years since. The Flame Champion did not show himself again. Rumour said that he went to the far west continent or that he traded his own life for peace in the grasslands. So this is summing up the legend of the Flame Champion, who is an important figure in Suikoden 3, which has the Trinity system where you have 3 characters and you play as each of them. So instead of having just one main hero, there's 3. And yeah, the Flame Champion is very important because he's basically the one that unified the grasslands, which is the main part of the world where the Suikoden 3 is set. So a nice little movement there. Anyway, continuing on. We have Volume 9, Forest Before 40. Next in Brain Champions Highway. Forest Before 40. First. That's for 40 weapons, 3 level 9. Sometimes down in the Great Hollow. According to design, the 40 up 3 level 12. Something clear. The other things something clear on the power. The real beauty. It's causing pleasure, and eventually bring a dark light up to level 15, said to begin in the dark village. Oh wow. Level 16 forges go for gold. When you need the very best of them and well, actually no one knows. Iske. So this is an interesting little book that tells you where you can find the various hammers. Suikoden 1 basically just had, I think, was it 4 different blacksmiths, and each blacksmith would sharpen your weapon up to a certain level, because instead of having one weapon that you constantly swap out for another one, you go to a new town and you buy a new sword or whatever, and put something newer and more powerful. In Suikoden games, this is something that I actually really like. You always have the same weapon, and to make that weapon stronger, you go to a blacksmith and they'll sharpen the weapon. So they brought in the hammers starting from Suikoden 2, and each hammer will be able to forge your weapon up to a certain level. And of course, they go in order of iron, copper, silver, and gold hammer. The iron hammer being the weakest of the ones that will only bring your weapon up to a certain level, but then the golden hammer will bring it up to its maximum level, which is 16. Although, of course, in the beginning of the game, sharpening your weapon becomes very cheap, but trust me when I say it becomes very, very expensive to forge it up to those higher levels. Although the Suikoden games have always been pretty generous with their money, so if you're good at Chinja-in, just reload if you don't win. That's my strategy. Or find a good spot to go for money, and just keep fighting until you get the necessary amount. But with 108 characters, it gets very expensive very quickly, at least later on in the game. But anyway, next we have Old Book Volume 10. Win the lottery. EP starts with win the lottery. If you want to get filthy rich, the lottery is your ticket. Here's all you need to know. Question 1. How can I buy tickets? A1. Go to a lottery sales outlet. One ticket costs 100 posh. You can buy up to 10 tickets for one drawing, but only during the sales period. When the sales period stops, the drawing and payout period starts. That means you take the numbers and collect anyway. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. How much can I win? A2. The typical range is 500,000 for first prize, 3,000 for fourth prize. Complimentary and grand prizes also exist. Complimentary prizes differ by seller. The tricky part is cashing in your winnings, cashing in your winners. That can only be done where you bought them. Remember that. And for that matter, remember winning tickets can only be confirmed within 3 lottery draws after the one was purchased for. Any later than that, and your ticket is void. But once you've identified a ticket as free to carry it around. Sorry about that. I'll get rid of this notification. Anyway, I've lost where I was up to. Okay, we'll just start over. The tricky part is cashing in your winners. That can only be done where you brought them. Remember that. And for that matter, remember winning tickets can only be confirmed in 3 lottery draws after the one was purchased for, and any later than that, your ticket is void. But once you identify a ticket, you're free to carry it around until it burns a hole in your armour. The rest is up to you. Do you know the saying, players win, watchers lose? Well, it's true. May you have the last dance with Lady Luck. So, I'm pretty sure this was only in Suikoden 3, although hang on, I think it was in Suikoden 3 and 4. So it was basically the lottery system. So each town would have a lottery. You could go buy a ticket, and if you got really, really lucky, you might win something. The majority of the time, you wouldn't win something. So those prizes were very, very hard to get. But it was always worth getting. I would always buy a lottery ticket, but very rarely would I actually win something, because just the odds of getting a winner of any kind are very, very low. But when you do win, it is certainly always nice. But yeah, that was a fun little aspect of the latest Suikoden games. Anyway, next we have Old Book Volume 11, which is Book of the Beast. It's found in the treasure chest in North Cannon. from the Guardian Shimmerer. Holy shrub, holy leaf creature, 1.5 feet tall. Usually jumps and attacks with body. Appears in Zexon Forest. Wild boar. Very mean disposition. Attacks by ramming. Mostly appears on plains. Blade bunny. Looks like a typical white rabbit but wields with stone hatchet. Mostly appears on plains. Narika. Humanoid with tail. Attacks with foam blasts and by controlling other monsters. Appears in vicinity of Flame Champion's hideaway. Bronze Sun. Huge humanoid. Skin yellowish with green pattern. Floats in air and attacks with light. Appears near Ancient Highway and Flame Champion Hideaway. Raj. Red full body armor. Uses sword to strike one target or multiple to strike several targets at once. Appears around Mount Sinai. Creeper. Green plant life form which sucks enemies into its body cavity. Appears in Zexon Forest. Magician. A flying humanoids with various magic skills empowered by cards. Acrobatic kick attack. Appears at the North Cabin and Mount Sinai. Siren. Fish's lower body, humanoid's upper body. Holds Lear. Sleep magic and water marine attacks. Appears in Homeland and at Sindar Ruins. Shadow. A zombie-like being with a wrapped head and neck. Claws and pile driver attacks. Mostly appears in Zexon Forest. Zombie unicorn. White unicorn 1.5 times larger than a regular horse. Skewers enemies or attacks with magic. Counted at North Cabin. Soul slug. Light blue body. Transparent. Flame breather. Can also absorb strength of enemies. Primarily appears along Ancient Pathway. Song sprite. Sprite in red clothing. Attacks with DO pitch as part of chorus. Can inflict damage on multiple targets. In Zexon Forest. Grand Holly. Holly tree monster. Attacks by releasing several smaller holly leaves. Found in Zexon Forest. Salamander. Dragon monstrosity shrouded in flames. Fire-breathing attack while airborne. Mostly appears in mountainous areas. Wolf. Pounces on enemies to attack. Known to appear on plains. Chimera. A lion with goat and eagle heads and a snake tail can ram enemies, breathe fire, or breathe poisonous gas. Zexon Forest. Archinal. Oh god. Archinivore. Giant spider. Vivid yellow and black stripe patterns. Attacks with a clawing jump. Appears on plains. Skeleton. A fighting skeleton that attacks with an axe. Appears on Mount Sinai and along Ancient Pathway. Killer bee. Bee-like creature with sting attack. Encountered on plains. Megwaki. One-eyed vegetation monster. Eye emits a beam. Also attacks with claws. Stalks beneath the ground at Homeland. Peckles. Ivory-coloured boar. Attacks by ramming enemies. Primarily encountered on plains. Gold boar. A purple boar. Attacks by ramming with electrified horns on its back. Appears mostly on plains. Rabbit rabbit. Ivy-coloured rabbit missing one eye and part of one ear. Attacks with single-bladed axe. Appears on plains. Dark hair. A single-horned black rabbit. Fights effectively with double-bladed axe. Mostly appears on plains. Copper sub. Giant humanoid. Brownish with red colouring. Floats in air and attacks with light. Appears at Flame Champion's hideaway. Banshee. The lower body of a fish, the upper body of a humanoid, holds Lear. Orange. Sleep magic and water marine attacks. Appears at the North Cabin area. Hellsteed. Red unicorn, 1.5 times larger than a regular horse. Skewers enemies or attacks with magic. Appears at ritual site ruins. Ghost slug. Pink transparent flame breather. Can absorb strength of enemies. Appears at North Cabin, Mount Sinai, Brass Castle, and Ancient Pathway. Ghost holly. Withered holly tree monster. Attacks by releasing several small holly leaves. Appears in Zexon and Kaput forests. Troll dragon. Dragon-shaped monstrosity. Wrapped in flames. Flies and breathes fire. Appears on plains, mountains, and near the Sindar ruins. Shadow dog. Wolf. Has furless tail and a colour pattern on legs. Sleeping and breathing attacks. Mostly appears on plains. Dukagumo. Giant spider. Vivid red and black stripes. Attacks with a clawing jump. Mostly appears on plains. Tarantula. Golden brown spider. Attacks with a clawing jump. Can also damage anyone within its nest. Appears in Kaput Forest. Devileye. Features a giant eye on its head that shoots a beam. Also attacks with claws like mountain areas. Holly elf. Red-winged humanoid sprite. Strikes with a baton and calls on holly leaves to make focus attack. Appears in Zexon Forest. Song sprite. Sprite in blue clothing attached with re-pitch as part of chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Song Sprite. Sprite in yellow clothing attacks with me pitch as part of a chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Song Sprite. Sprite in green clothing attacks with far pitch as part of chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Song Sprite in purple clothing attacks with soul pitch as part of the chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Song Sprite in pink clothing attacks with blah pitch as part of the chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Song Sprite in white clothing attacks with T pitch as part of chorus can inflict damage on multiple targets, insects, and forests. Furfly. Small blue fairy creature attacks directly with its body, mostly encountered on plains. Furfly. Small red creature attacks directly with its body, mostly encountered on plains. Furfly. Small green fairy creature attacks with body, mostly encountered on plains. Furfly. Small purple fairy creature attacks directly with its body, mostly encountered on plains. Furfly. Small copper fairy creature attacks with its body, mostly encountered on plains. Furfly. Small black fairy creature, attacks directly with its body, mostly encountered on plains. Mantrika. A giant red crab that punches enemies, can paralyze with froth, uses its remains for cookings, mostly insects and forests. Red mantic. Known by its mostly red shell, strikes with appendages, paralyzing attack, uses remains for cooking, usually in kaput forest. Nemesis. Gigantic being carrying a staff, lightning attack from sphere, summons ice spheres from sky. Mount Sinai and Ancient Pathway. Vermitor. A red bug with thorns on its back. Explosive projectile attack can be used while flying. Appears in insects and forests. Need beetle. A blue bug with thorns on its back. Explosive projectile attack can be used while flying. Appears in kaput forest. Malafox. Pillar with faces on front and back. Trample attack. Orbited attacks with smash attack at Cinder Ruins and Ancient Highway. Azodus. Winged humanoid. Attacks with arrows of light and by summoning shadows to inflict damage. It appears near Flame Champion Hideaway. Ghost Armor. A fully armoured being that attacks with axe can break into smaller pieces for attack. Encountered on Mount Sinai. Daggerwing. Winged creature with enormous head. Drops enemy from the air and shoots multiple arrows from its mouth. Appears near North Cavern. Twin Snake. Huge Mount Sinai beast with two huge fangs, emerging from both sides, tongue and beam attacks from mouth, flame and cold attacks from snakes. Water Dragon. Water Dragon with 10 beautiful side fins, guarded by 6 ice columns, appears at Cinder Ruins when the true water seal, is broken. Waterlow. A round creature covered with eyes. As turns pass, it expands, turns red, and explodes. Appears at Flame Champion's Hideaway. Purple Creeper. Purple plant form which sucks enemies into body cavity. Appears on plains. Bone SLDR, I'm not sure what it stands for. A fighting skeleton that attacks with axe. Encountered at North Cavern. Blue Mantic. Known by its vividly coloured bluish shell, attacks with laser appendages and paralysing froth, mostly encountered in Cook Forest. Tarot Knight. Wears green full body armour, attacks with sword and by breaking up in small pieces from multiple targets. An Ancient Pathway. Spark Beetle. A green bug with thorns on its back. Explosive projectile attack, can attack several while flying. Appears in insects and forests. Fire RL NCAR, I'm not sure what it stands for. Immense fire dragon, with wings shrouded in flame. Appears at Flame Champion's Hideaway when the true fire seal rune is broken. Ghost Knight. Armoured upper body, lower body of a horse, attacks with light and explosions from sphere with a frontal charge at North Cavern. Encompassed by a blue aura. I'll skip that one. Horror Beast, encompassed by a blue aura, attacks with a beam from mouth and multiple balls of light from body. Appears at Ritual Site Ruins. Stone Golem, body made of rough stone, huge right arm used to attack, can deliver punches to multiple foes upon landing. Appears on plains. Horhoro, a flightless green bird with much plumage on its head, stabs with beak and kicks at enemies, mostly appears on plains. Chon Chon, butterfly with blue and red wings, absorbs enemy strength and spreads airborne poisonous powder, appears in mountainous regions. Guardian. A round monster with one eye at its center rotates and fire beams of light at its enemy. Yellow Severe. Yellow dolphin-like mountain sprite with unique pattern on its back. Attacks with horn on its head and also a tail. Blue Severe. Blue dolphin-like mountain sprite with distinct pattern on its back and fins. Attacks with horn on its head and also a tail. Flight. Flightless black bird with much plumage on its head. Stabs with beak and kicks enemies. Mostly appears on planes. Cho-Cho. Butterfly with green colour gradation on wings. Absorbs enemy strength and spreads airborne poisonous powder. Appears to meet homeland. Rock Golem. Body made of rough rock, huge right arm used to attack, can jump and deliver punches to multiple foes upon landing, found in mountains. Yeah, that was one hell of a long book, wasn't it? So this is basically a bestiary, although there are a couple of enemies that I want to bring attention to, if I can find them. Let's see. The Copper Sun and the... where are we? I thought there was another anyone. The Copper Sun, I'm pretty sure, is an enemy that is very good for collecting money. I used to farm them, just continuously fight them when I need to save up money because they used to drop a lot of potch. Anyway, also the song sprites are basically the same as the Do-Re-Mi elves in Suikoden 2, which I always thought were really cute. The little elves that attack, they each say like a, do-re-mi sort of, sound, a part of the song, and when they attack together, they can be quite powerful and also drop a recipe if you're very lucky. Anyway, that was a long one. Let's continue on. So basically a bestiary right there. Next we have Old Book Volume 12, and this is the last one. Treasure chest on Mount Haito. Gourmet adventurer. Every village and city has at least one specialty, and be foolish not to try them all. Here, for the first time in one book, is all you need to know about the finest sustenance your potch can buy. As any lizard will tell you, the popularity of the special stew at the Great Hollow is well deserved. There's no use going to Kaleria if you're not going to indulge in their fried rice. Over at the Duck Village, they've got tomato soup worthy of being a lottery prize. You don't have to be a Zexan to fall in love with gratin in Vinay del Vexi. In this gay village, the beef and potatoes and grilled fish taste just like how Mum used to make them. Cake is the quickest and sweetest way to every woman's heart in Almacanan village. Busy the Birkins know there is no beating the price and volume of the local lunchbox. Chinese noodle soup is always worth a trip to Shisha village. If you haven't tried noodle soup like this before, even if you can't stomach the local water, always stop to enjoy the culinary delights. So, one thing that all the Suikoden games, aside from Suikoden 1, had were the recipes. You find them all over the place. Sometimes you can find them by examining things. Well, in Suikoden 2, you can't examine things in Suikoden 3, or dropped by enemies or in chests and just all over the place. And there was always a lot of recipes to collect. And by cooking the recipes up, you get all sorts of food items. And the food items can be very good. They can restore a lot of health, and some have special effects. But the most fun aspect of these is in Suikoden 2. I know this is the old books from Suikoden 3, but in Suikoden 2 you have the cooking mini game, so you actually get to put your recipes to use. I think in Suikoden 3 they had a like a restaurant where you could go and choose which items you want to sell based on what recipes you had, which you can also do in Suikoden 2. But what they had in Suikoden 2 was the cooking minigame, which I swear to God is one of the best minigames in game history, if not one of the best. It's so fun. Think, what's that show called? Iron Chef. Think Iron Chef. So basically you pick which recipe you want to use, and then you can choose between various seasonings, and depending on what seasoning you use, the recipe will change, and there'll be a random number of judges. I forget how many judges they have, but anyway, the judges will be randomly selected based on characters you have recruited, and they will each judge them. And it's interesting because every character actually has certain dishes that they really like their favourite dish, and then dishes that they don't like. So unless you do a bit of research and you just get really lucky, it can be very fun to work out which recipes people like and which one they don't like. But yeah, it can be a whole lot of fun. And when you progress and you win the cooking mini game, then you will always get a new recipe. Basically, you'll have a chef that appears to challenge your chef, and you'll have a little cooking battle. And if you win that cooking battle, you'll win a new recipe. And there's quite a lot of them that you can get. So yeah, really fun stuff. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Being your host, the RPG Goddess Game. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment, all that good stuff really does help. Lets me know that you guys like what I do and want to see more. I've got some more videos planned. I want to do old books for volume 3 and 4, so I've done all the old books. Also want to do another one in my Games I Love and Why series for the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remasters. I've now finished Suikoden 1, got the perfect ending, so all 108 stars and Grammy arrived. Very cool. So I'll carry over my save data into that, but I don't think I can give my full thoughts on the game until I've actually played Suikoden 2 as well, so that will be coming in good time. I actually racked up 120 hours in Suikoden 1, had a great old time. The remaster's been everything I wanted and more. But anyway, yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, I'm now also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so feel free to pop on over to there to keep up to date with all the latest channel news and show your support. Also, quick note, the majority of people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. About 98% of people who watch aren't subscribed, so if that's you, please consider not being that person and subscribing for more great content. Anyway, once again, I've been your host, the RPG Goddess Game. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I love you all, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Until the next one, bye, guys.